Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Finger Guns podcast with Tony, Dave, and James. I am your jauntiest Jimmy, and I'm joined as always with
the tastiest of Big Tasty Tony V.
Yeah, Big Tasty's back, and Dave. I just introduced you.
You just introduced me, but I was gonna say Despicable Dave. I want to be despicable tonight.
Me recently?
No. I just want to be despicable tonight. It just seems like the theme of the night. Yeah, I don't know. What? Just tonight? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, how are we tonight, gentlemen?
I'm pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I woke up today and I was like, "What country am I in?" Because I'm not sure which one.
That's fine.
Yeah,
is it
fine.
Cold?
It's cold. It's
kind of not in the tropical country, Tom.
But my skin is still kind of warm. Like my ears are warm.
It's residual heat.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I brought the nice weather. You know, you're welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
I heard you guys had a snowstorm. I watched it a little. I'm not gonna lie. I watched my doorbell cam of just the snow falling down.
It was a bit of a joke of a snowstorm, but it was stupid. Yeah,
it was kind of nice though. It was peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
It's peaceful. When the snow finished falling, it was the dense sound absorption packing snow was very nice to walk around in.
Yeah. There was like a heap of snow on the car and I was like, holy shit, did we get that much snow? And then I looked on the ground and I was like, half of it was already melted.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was pretty stupid.
Took a day to melt.
Yeah, it was pretty stupid. I spent 40 minutes shoveling it, and then it was basically gone.
Yeah, I didn't even shovel. I wasn't home. I came home on Sunday, and my snow was gone.
I was like, "Sweet to you."
I was telling him we were coming back when we were coming off the tarmac, and we were going into the tunnel and the airport. I saw a big ice hill, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. We got snow."
It snowed. Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. Well, we got a lot to cover. Do you want to get into some movies and get this thing started?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do it. So we're going to kick it off with some best, my worst?
Yes.
Who wants to start?
I can go.
All right.
I'm going to start with my best. It's a little Canadian movie because I went on a Canadian kick last week.
Sure.
It is called Suze.
Ooh, Suze. Love Suze.
Short synopsis. A woman
filmed in Hamilton.
Filmed in Hamilton too.
Excellent.
Big shout out. I liked when Hamilton took part because I was like, oh, I know where that is. Oh, I know where that is.
Except for that water tower.
That water, I was calling shenanigans on the water tower for sure. Basically, overbearing, mother. Her daughter goes to college, and then she has a little
McGill.
At McGill, but
Sure.
McGill is actually just downtown Hamilton.
Sure.
She has a little spat with her boyfriend. Boyfriend tries to kill himself. He needs supervision. His asshole dad doesn't want to take care of him. Overwhelming mother ends up taking care of him. And from there, hilarity ensues, basically.
Oh.
And it's like a little coming to age thing. She learns a little bit about herself. He learns a little bit of himself. It's very feel good, very wholesome movie for sure.
That's lovely.
It's quite funny.
It's actually, yeah. I did not expect it to be as funny as it was. Main character is Michaela Watkins.
Yeah.
She is absolutely incredible.
Amazing.
But the MVP of the movie is the guy that played Gage. His name is Charlie Gillespie.
Yeah.
He is nominated for Best Supporting Actor at the Canadian Screen Awards.
Great.
I wish him all the best. He was absolutely phenomenal. Loved him to death. This movie is so warm, so wholesome. You guys should check it out for sure.
All right. It's on my list.
Yes, it comes out on VOD next week.
Sweet. Then I'm definitely checking it out.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes. I was going to do like an oops all bullshit round, but
Sure.
I think you guys are going to talk about a couple of the ones that I would have on oops all bullshit. So I'm going to go with Love Lies Bleeding, which is not bullshit, which was actually quite good. It's the sophomore film. Sophomore? What'd you call it? The second
Sophomoric.
sophomoric film by Rose Glass, who also did a film called Saint Maud, which we skipped at TIFF
so
like
much.
fucking chodes.
Yeah, but Saint Maud is... Oh, she's my patron saint.
Yes. So Love Lies Bleeding premiered at Sundance, has a bitchin' fucking trailer.
Yes.
It's about a gym, somebody who runs a gym. Her name's Lou. It's Kristen Stewart. She falls in love with Jackie, who's played by Katie O'Brien, who's trying to become like a champion fucking like bodybuilder type. Yeah. And Lou has She has a shitty dad who he's basically a gun runner, and he's played by Ed Harris
with a fabulous mullet.
It's not even. I don't even know what you would call it.
I wouldn't say it's
quite
a mullet.
No,
it's just
not quite
hair
a
in the
mullet.
back. It's just all party.
It's
all party.
he's all bald at the top, and yeah, it's all party in the back.
I love
It's Patrick Stewart in the later stages of Dune.
Yeah, it's
all in the back.
It is magnificent is what it is. Somebody had written on Twitter what it was called, and I need to find it because I couldn't understand that somebody actually knew what this thing was called. But I'll have to find it after because
It's eluding you, and that's okay.
eluding me. A skullet.
A skullet. Jesus Christ.
I don't know if that's the official term for it. Skullet.
Oh my God.
Okay.
That's pretty accurate.
Okay, so skullet.
Dome on top, party in the back.
He's a gun runner. Jackie falls in with him type thing. And Lou doesn't like that, and just like weird things start happening.
Huh.
And I would say the first half is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's the queer love story that we wanted fucking Drive-Away Dolls to be.
Right.
Because it's just fucking like they have great chemistry together, and just like weird things are happening. And then somebody loses most of their face, and they keep going back to it. And it just gets very viscerally violent and just like obscenely violent. And then there's like, Tony would love this. There's like a turn into Cronenberg for a bit.
Fuck yeah.
Where I was just like, huh, okay.
Wait,
giddy
David or
up.
Brandon?
That's what I'm waiting for, baby. That's what I need.
This is Daddy Cronenberg territory.
All right.
And it's relentless, and it's thrilling, and it's just really, really well done. It doesn't come together as well as Saint Maud did, but it moves a lot quicker than Saint Maud did. And it has a lot better acting because you got Kristen Stewart, you got Ed Harris, you got fucking Dave Franco, you got you got Katie O'Brien, who's a real find. She's incredible in this movie. And I need to find the other person who I didn't realize was in the movie until after, Jenna Malone, who's gonna break your fucking heart when you see what happens with Jenna Malone. And
love her.
Yeah. And then there's another one who's how do I say her name? Anna Baryshnikov, who she's been in a couple of things. I don't know if you guys would recognize her. She steals the fucking movie because she says and does some weird shit in this movie, and you're just like, huh.
Interesting.
It keeps your attention the whole time, even when you're not vibing with it. You're still like, yeah, all right, Rose Glass, fuck me up.
All right.
Because this is fucking great.
All right.
And it's really well done. And just cheers to the two young teenagers who are sitting in front of me and friend of the podcast, Matt Layden, who said it was the worst movie they have ever seen in their lives. You know what, guys? Bless your hearts that this is the worst thing you've ever seen, because you are in for some trauma and some heartbreak when you fucking keep
you have
going.
not even found what the bottom of the well looks like yet.
If you were here for K-Stew, you have not hit the bottom of the barrel for K-Stew yet, guys. Yeah. It's just very artistic, very just it takes place in 1989, and I love the 80s, and it just screams 80s. I can't say enough good things about it. It's fucking weird, but it's fucking great.
Amazing. I love this.
Go to see it with Melissa tomorrow.
Giddy up, buddy.
Nice.
Let me tell you, Melissa's gonna fucking hate it. You're gonna like it a lot. She's gonna fucking hate it,
buddy. She surprises me every so often, so I'm hoping.
I'm gonna be. I'm taking the day off on Monday, so maybe I'll squeak that in on Monday.
Yeah, you should. Go very good movie.
Definitely.
I've been rewatching a lot of the Pixar movies, and so I did rewatch Ratatouille, which I did enjoy a lot, and WALL-E, of course, is a banger, and
WALL-E's probably one of the best ones.
Finding Nemo, again, bangers, Banger City, but that's not what I want to talk about. Bangers. Not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about something I watched as a palate cleanser on Dave's recommendation, and that is a blind spot on me of Scorsese's filmography of Bringing Out the Dead.
Banger.
Yeah. I don't know what I was expecting out of this movie. Basically what I was looking for, and you know what Dave threw me towards was I wanted something that involved ambulances. Part of me was just going to go watch Ambulance.
I was just going to say, why don't you just watch Ambulance?
I'm still going to. I want a three-peat of really what I wanted to do if I had time. And again, Dave threw me for another loop, and I started watching Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. So I didn't get time to watch Ambulance, but I wanted to do an Oops All Ambulances best, may, worst, and I wasn't able to.
Damn.
So I'm going to talk about Bringing It to the Dead anyway, which is fucking great. Weird in the sense that it is definitely 3 distinct movies that happen all kind of together, and Nick Cage is your common thread. And that's how it feels anyways. Like each day feels like a different movie because he's got a different partner and it's like shot somewhat differently, and the energy is different and the story is different. And so it feels episodic almost in nature.
Very.
But held together by Nick Cage, who's doing his best, and Patricia Arquette, who's also doing great throughout it and continues to be like a good thread throughout all 3 stories. And then also all your supporting characters. Like the fact that it was like John Goodman at the height of his weight, right at the beginning, and he's like, oh, it's up on the 5th floor. Of course it's at the top floor, and they have to cut between floors 1 and 5 because there's no way John Goodman was going to make it up 5 flights of stairs. He would have had the heart attack that the guy had. But just even seeing sweaty John Goodman over a corpse was just like, this guy's not. How the fuck is this man a paramedic?
Amazing.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm forgetting his. Oh yeah, Mark Anthony as a random crazy person. Wild.
Really?
Wild.
Have you not seen Bringing Out the Dead?
I've never seen it.
Oh,
wild.
buddy.
Mind-blowingly wild.
It is a trip.
Tom Sizemore going fucking off.
Yeah.
Tom Sizemore playing Tom Sizemore.
Tom Sizemore. Yeah.
I remember seeing clips of that. Ving Rhames, the other one.
Ving Rhames being like a Baptist priest paramedic throughout it is just, it's nuts. It's all just insane.
Fucking Nick Cage barking at a dude.
That's just Nick Cage on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's Scorsese. It's Nick Cage.
Yeah.
And fucking Paul Schrader.
Yeah.
Schrader wrote it.
Of course he did.
It's wild.
It just makes so much sense.
Fucking wild. It is underrated.
Yeah.
Because I don't think people watch this movie knowing what to go into, but if you know what you're getting into, it's fucking
those
nutty.
3 things are all you know to get into it, but like it's like the least Scorsese thing I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah.
But it is the most Nick Cage thing I've ever watched in my life. So it contains multitudes.
It's fucking bleak as fuck.
It's not uplifting.
Yeah.
Love it.
And it's funny.
But
it's fucking wild.
Yeah, and it holds
it's Schrader, obviously.
Yeah, it holds your attention the entire time, and like you're just kind of wondering what the fuck is going to happen next and how it goes through 3 different days. And Nick Cage looking as fucking exhausted as he does. Like honestly, I'm pretty sure he went method for that. Yeah, of course he did. He just didn't sleep for 3 weeks, and then went and shot this film. And just anyway, it's wild. Highly recommend.
Was it TIFF?
Fantastic. Of course it was.
Yeah. And we're waiting for fucking 4K, baby. That deserves a 4K.
It really does.
Yeah,
it really does. Sure. It would be incredible to see because like New York City has never looked as slimy as it does.
Oh damn!
Like it's up there with like
After Hours. It looks pretty slimy.
I really want to see After Hours.
Midnight Cowboy also looks fucking gross as shit. But this is up there. This is upper echelon. New York is a fucking cesspool.
Does it look gross as shit because the movie is it looks gross as shit, or because John Voight's there?
Well, John Voight taints everything.
John Voight's in it?
No, he's in Midnight Cowboy.
Midnight Cowboy, yeah.
He taints everything, but no, it's not the John Voight of it all. Actually, that's not the John Voight problem. It is literally, that is how grimy and gross New York was in like 1969.
Just remember Dustin Hoffman being a
I'm walking here.
Hey now, that's my table.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's not going to break.
Tony, go.
Remember that conversation that James was having at the start of the podcast when he was saying stuff about brevity?
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck him right now.
I'm going to cut you off.
So instead of a meh, I put a second best, but it's a trifecta of movies.
What the 3 movies?
Yeah, but I'll talk about them all, and they all blend together. It's because we mentioned it on the podcast. We did 94. Dave brought up Jim Carrey and his trifecta of movies.
Sure.
Nice.
So I rewatched Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, and The Mask.
Great.
Did you watch them about all 3 of them? Did you watch them in proper order?
I watched Dumb and Dumber, then The Mask, then
Sorry, did you watch them in universe order?
Okay, so you watched them
they're all
backwards,
connected.
then.
Backwards? Okay.
Yeah, because Ace Ventura premiered first.
Okay. Anyways,
whatever.
Do you guys remember how long Dumb and Dumber is?
It's like 90 minutes.
No, it's not. It's almost 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah, it is 112 minutes.
That's a long fucking movie.
That's you know for what Dumb and Dumber is,
right? Yeah, that movie doesn't hit as quite hard as it used to. They could easily have lost 20 minutes. They take
kick his ass, Seabass.
Right. Aspen is literally the last half an hour of the movie. It feels like it's half the movie, but is literally
the last half hour.
Ridiculous. I actually like that one. I remember liking that one a lot. I actually liked it the least.
Oh,
so in my opinion, my favorite is Ace Ventura. Hasn't aged well at all.
I was going to say it's super transphobic, and it was super transphobic back then too.
Super ridiculous. But The Mask is the better movie. The Mask hits so hard. It's very funny. Some of it hasn't aged. Cameron Diaz is an absolute rocket. She is so gorgeous in this movie. She practically like glows on the screen.
Yeah.
And Jim Carrey is just firing at all aces. Like he is the
fucking cartoon.
Literally.
Yeah.
It is fabulous. The CGI, the visual effects, a little dated, but they still look fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
How's Cuban Pete?
Cuban Pete.
He's the king of the rumba beat.
That's true. He is.
I saw the Cocobonga I went to the Cocobongo in Dominican, and they have the Mask show.
Amazing.
And I was like, man, we went to it. We didn't go inside, but we were in the area.
Why the fuck didn't you go?
Because they didn't want to go. It's too touristy.
Anyway.
But I told them the next time want to go. But anyways, that's it. The Jim Carrey trifecta. Dumb and Dumber, way too fucking long.
Does he flip the chick? Like he doesn't.
Absolutely. Honestly, The Mask hits so hard.
Yeah.
Loved it. But Ace Ventura always will hold a place in my heart. That movie, I quoted the entire movie to Melissa. She hated it, but she liked my reactions.
So
even though it's super gross.
It is super gross. You just gotta. It's
so fucking gross.
It's so gross. It's so gross. But the movie is still quotable, and it still holds a place in cinema history.
When he says, "Do not go in there," and
right? And Udo Kier, he's fucking there.
Dan Marino,
yeah.
Snowflake.
Here, Snowflake, and it's a fucking shark. See, it still hits.
Just super gross.
Just super gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a trifecta. See, it wasn't that bad.
That was great.
Also, wanted to point out, Dumb and Dumber and Ace Ventura. I had them on Blu-ray, and I busted out my fucking DVD copy of The Mask.
Nice.
Absolutely glorious.
Was it a DVD copy that you actually bought, or is it the one you got in a fucking box of cereal?
No, I bought this one. Okay. We chucked that one out because it was edited.
Oh yeah, it was edited. It was
lame.
Edited.
Yeah. Lame.
I saw some deleted scenes from The Mask recently, and they're fucking bleak as shit. bleak. James mentioned Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
That's what I want to talk about is my high ma, low best. And
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to steal your.
No, it's okay. It's okay because you didn't finish it, so I get to talk about it.
Yes, you do.
Zack Snyder's first movie, written by Jimmy Gunn.
Yeah.
I was telling James, this movie has like one of the best openings I have ever seen in ever.
Yeah. It's
ever.
fucking
remember?
incredible.
Just like balls to the fucking wall.
It open like it just
Jump Street,
up.
Yeah.
It fucks you right up. Like something's going on, and
all right,
like nobody knows what's going on.
I'm gonna go have sex in the shower.
I'm gonna go home for date night. I see this random girl on the street. Hey, we're gonna play tomorrow. I was like, no, you're not. Bangs her husband, goes to bed, wakes up at 6 a.m. The little girl's in the house, and he's like, the little girl's here at 6 a.m. That's fine. Chomps that motherfucker dead.
Rips his throat out,
Rips his throat clean off. He dies. Fucking comes after her. She gets out there, and it's just fucking pandemonium.
Yeah.
I have never seen, like, there are very few movies that could get to the fucking point in 10 minutes that fucking quickly.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, every single one of Zack Snyder's movies that followed this movie can't do it.
No.
None of them can do it.
He lost his brevity writing partner, James Gunn.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Just like what they accomplish in that first 12 minutes
Yeah, your entire world is set up, ready to go. The chaos is all around you, and you're just already like, "Fuck!" And all right, I know everything that needs to. I know everything I need to know. Yeah,
nobody's safe. And then it follows with a credit scene, which is basically COVID the movie.
Yeah, yeah, it's really funny.
And then just like them getting to the fucking mall, which is in like I think it's in
Thorncliffe.
Thorncliffe. It's Thorncliffe. And just because it's all filmed in Ontario. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, it's all Ontario.
Yeah, there's a suburb of her house that was like, I was squinting and there's a car in the background. I'm like, that's an Ontario license plate.
And just like they get to the mall and there's just shenanigans at the mall and just like it just comes together really well. And some of this dumb shit that happens where you're like, that's not believable at all. After COVID, totally believable.
Yeah.
Dog runs out into the middle of the fucking zombie apocalypse. I have to go get it. Of course you do. You're not an idiot. You're a human and you're a fucking moron for doing it. But you know what? Everyone would do it.
Yeah.
And just like this movie's fucking metal, Tony. I don't know if you've seen it in a while. It's fucking metal.
Dude,
like,
I'm probably gonna watch this weekend.
Fucking nuts.
Fucking gory. And fucking Ty Burrell from fucking Modern Family is in this movie.
Like fuck, really?
And he is the worst scummy piece of fucking dog shit ever. And you're like, that's not Phil Dunphy.
Yeah,
that's not my.
It's so jarring.
Phil.
It's so jarring.
That's not my Phil.
Wow.
And he's so good at it.
Yeah.
He's so good at it.
He's such a smarmy little asshole. It's fucking incredible.
He's great. Our boy Ving is great.
Yeah.
Sarah
Also
Pauli.
Ving,
Oh yeah, Sarah Pauli's awesome in
Yeah.
it. Mekhi Phifer is fucking wild in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
knocking up some Russian chick.
Yeah, it's fucking. You don't know what happens with him, do you?
No,
oh, James, you are in for a treat, my friend. You are in for a treat.
Yeah.
Either way, I know that we have Romero's Dawn of the Dead on the pedestal for good reason. Turns 45 years years old this year, guys. The reason I watched Dawn of the Dead was because the remake was because it turns 20 this year.
Wild shit, man. Wild shit.
And it came out the same day as Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which I did see theatrically, so I'm aging myself terribly. Exactly.
Yeah.
All of this to say, I'm going to try not to ruin this for you, but the ending of this movie is almost as good as the beginning.
Incredible.
Almost as good as the beginning. And just like what he packs into this ending.
Oh, man,
I don't know what the fuck happened to Zack Snyder where he's like, you know what, guys, I'm going to go off the fucking deep end. Because this movie still has the stupid speed motion, the stupid slow motion.
Yeah, it's used in the right way. It's just not, not as everything is heightened to like 11.
His heightened to 11, his love of guns and fucking sex and violence. It's all here. This is all prototype Snyder. It's just, it's done so much better than later.
Yeah.
Like he just got ahead of himself. He just needs to go back because he made another zombie movie. He made what's that?
Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead. That's like what 2.5 hours long.
Yeah,
it didn't need to be.
Long,
it's way too long.
The stuff that's great in
the stuff
you
that's
can
great
see
is
it.
great.
Yeah.
The stuff that's not is not.
Yeah, it's like there's two Zack Snyders inside of him trying to fight their way out.
But the ending, there's two amazing needle drops.
I can't wait.
And just like they're back-to-back needle drops, and you're just like, this is perfect.
I can't wait.
This is perfect for this movie.
I'm about halfway through. I can't wait.
It's funny. It's bleak. There is the like it's not the Romero satire, but it's just like there's still something there, and you're like, this remake should not be as good as it is.
Yeah.
And knowing that Zack Snyder fucking directed it, you're like, there's no way this movie should be as good as it is. There's no way this movie should be as watchable as it is.
Yeah.
And as fun as it is, and as fucking vicious as it is.
Love it.
Yeah. But yeah, Dawn of the Dead, baby.
You have it on Scream Factory, right?
I do.
Okay, cool.
I need to watch the theatrical one because I watched the unrated one, and the unrated inserts are not as they're not
colored properly.
They're you can tell which ones are the unrated inserts because they're not as remastered the same way. So I'd like to watch the theatrical one because I don't think I've ever seen the theatrical one.
Yeah.
I think I've only ever seen the unrated one. So I'd like to watch the theatrical and just watch it remastered properly as opposed to random inserts where you're like, okay, that doesn't look right. Yeah. So
nice.
Jimmy.
I'm going to swing on back to Pixar for half a moment. I want to talk about Cars.
You get the fuck out of here with your Cars.
It's a meh.
I'm glad it's a meh now. It wasn't a meh for 5 minutes there.
Our little cousins loved Cars.
So here's part of my issue with it is I had to take myself out from that time of our lives where I think I saw Cars 156 times.
Yeah.
Because that's all they watched on repeat.
You come over, buddy. You'll watch it 156 more times.
Yeah, no.
I have seen Cars many times.
Yeah, but it was a palate cleanser because it's been a long time since I've watched it. So I was like, okay, let me put that aside. I know that I've seen this more times than I could possibly count, and it was quoted at me, and Lightning McQueen was fucking all over their house and everything. Ka-chow everywhere.
Get her done.
It's the first one is charming.
Yeah,
it has an original story that it's going for. It tells it in a fun way. It is. It falls apart if you think about any part of that world for more than half a second. Because I don't want to know how cars are born. I also don't want to think about the fact that Mater takes a ride in a helicopter at the end, and so technically he's inside of the helicopter's stomach, and like a plane or train transporting these fucking things is sentient. So are they eating the cars? Do they taste? How do they eat? What do they eat? These are not things that
they drink motor oil.
They drink motor oil. That's great. What do they taste? What do they eat?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. It falls apart if you think about it. If you put 1 ounce of brain energy to the world that they've created, none of it makes any sense. And also the fact that like the entire like Arizona Grand Canyon is like car parts. I don't. Okay.
It's so detailed.
It's incredibly detailed.
The little details in that, I think that might be like the most like little detail movie like of any fucking Pixar movie.
So we've been watching all of them, right? So Toy Story all the way, and we just finished WALL-E.
WALL-E.
And watching it, you're just watching the leaps in technology and the leaps in like detail and background detail and like what they're able to do with world building from like Toy Story 1, which was not which was great for 1995, but by now you're just like, wow, all right, this is very 1995. This dog looks like pixel art.
The remastered ones it looks
pretty good.
It looks pretty good for a remaster.
Coming all the way up, and then you're getting to this where there's so much background detail and there's so many little things that like if you pause any frame of it, you can find like 6 things happening in the background that are like wild. The story itself is charming. I was able to get through it. It had a few laughs. It does rely on poop jokes a little bit.
It's boring.
I don't know. I don't remember Cars 2 or 3. I will get there at some point and I will let you know. But I remember it being diminishing returns for Cars after this.
Cars 2 is an abomination.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. And here's my problem with Cars.
Yeah.
So Cars 1 is like the fucking where he learns that he can't be a one-man show.
Correct.
And he needs family. He needs friends.
He needs family and friends. He has no friends. He's dropped off in this small town. He learns to trust other people and be friends with them.
Right?
Yes.
And like winning isn't the only thing.
Correct. There's more to winning.
There's more to life than winning.
Yeah.
Than winning. And like to your point, where are his parents?
Don't want to know. I don't want to know how he came to this earth. I don't want to know.
James, the second one is a
espionage, isn't it?
It's a spy thriller.
Yeah.
Where Mater's the spy.
Of course. Of course.
We played the PS3 game or PS2 game of it.
Yeah.
And it was just like ridiculous.
Mater is that's the pitch. Mater is the spy. And Michael Caine's like a James Bond type. That's fucking great. And Bruce Campbell's in it. Fucking great. But the rest of them and John, the Jesus, what's his fucking stupid name?
John
Turturro's in it as like a fucking F1 fucking Italian car, and he's a little piece of shit.
Yeah,
but Mater's a super spy.
Yeah.
Okay. The third one is McQueen is old, and he can't race the same way he used to because he can't beat the top guy anymore.
Sure.
And he gets badly injured type thing, which. Okay, I guess.
Sure.
And he has to mount his comeback.
Oh, okay.
But the way they kind of do it, there should be a movie in between. Like all of them, because his trajectory of can't be a one-man show. The next one, he's already won a bunch of championships and he's not the main character anymore. And then suddenly he's the main character and he's too old at the end type thing. And it doesn't quite.
So you miss the middle.
You miss the middle.
Got it.
So it's weird because the third one is a lot better than people give credit for, because I've watched that one way too many times now.
Sure. Yeah.
Because who knew? Quinny has taste. We don't watch the second one very often.
Good call.
But the third one is so much better than it has any right to be. It's not like it's just better. It's the best of the Cars movies.
But it just doesn't have the.
But the crux of it and the hook and everything, you're like, this would work a whole lot better if Cars 2 wasn't this bullshit.
Yeah. Interesting. All right.
So I'm interested to hear what you
informed as I go.
If I see 4 stars for Cars 2 or Cars 3, I'm gonna
5 stars. Cinema, a cinematic masterpiece.
I'm gonna backhand you.
That's fair. Tony,
for my worst, hopefully I'm not taking one from Dave. I'm gonna talk about a little film called Argylle.
Oh.
From the Twisted Mind of Matthew Vaughn.
God, can you remember when that was the fucking title you had to search on fucking movie grid? Fuck off.
James,
Twisted Mind.
Have you? I know Dave's seen it.
I have not seen it yet.
Okay,
but go nuts. I don't give a fuck.
I'm fairly certain.
You know what's actually just before you get into it? You know what's actually really sad?
Yeah,
I haven't seen Argylle yet. My parents have seen Argylle.
Ooh.
They paid money, went to the theaters to see Argylle.
Oh, no.
Did they like it?
No.
I also want to point out that OG super fan of the podcast, Mike Rodriguez, has this movie at a 3.5 stars on Letterboxd.
You know,
I don't want him to
we just calling people out now.
I don't want him to be a super fan anymore. He is a disgrace.
So anyways, talk to me about the travesty.
Disgrace.
Yeah. I love him to death though. He's
travesty
a man.
Doesn't explain this movie, James.
Yeah. It was pitched to me as a good popcorn action movie.
Sure. It is not.
It is not.
It's just a bad movie.
It is not.
It is 2 hours and 20 minutes of my life that I will never get back again. I was actually going to see this movie in theaters.
Oh, like, God,
I'm crying. I'm crying
I'm
thinking
so glad
about
you
this.
didn't.
Yeah, $5 Tuesdays at Cineplex.
Not even worth it.
Not worth it.
Not worth it. It's not.
Tell us why it's bad, Tony. Stop beating around the bush. Tell us why it's bad.
It's one of the biggest things. Every single actor is acting in a different movie.
Wonderful.
And the only person that's having fun is our boy Sam Rockwell.
Of course.
He knows what movie he's in and he doesn't care.
Yeah.
And he dances.
So that's always a good one. What was I going to say? Bryce Dallas Howard. Not sure what she's doing. Catherine O'Hara. She's in this. She's in this. Yeah.
I thought she was being a parody of Moira Rose.
Interesting.
Bryan Cranston's just doing whatever Bryan Cranston's doing that day.
It's a spy thriller parody.
Yeah.
Of spy thriller parodies.
Oh, good. It's double meta.
Super double meta.
And it's a parody of a parody of a parody.
Oh, God. No.
And he's threatening to make more of these movies.
Yeah. It sets up for a sequel, and you're just like, oh dear God, I hope, buddy, it's Apple. They have endless pockets, buddy.
That's true.
And there's a tie-in to the Kingsman universe.
Gross.
What's the tie-in?
Did you not watch the mid-credit scene where he goes to the Kingsman bar?
Oh, there's a mid-credit scene. I literally just turned.
Oh, there's a mid-credit. Like, I'm done.
There's a mid-credit
directed by Go Fuck Yourself.
You know what? I don't care that I'm spoiling it.
No,
there's a mid-credit scene with that's like Argylle begins, and he's at like the Kingsman bar. It's just so bad, James. It's so bad. It's not funny.
Yeah,
no. It's not funny.
Remember when everyone was really thrilled by Matt Vaughn and what he put out?
Yeah.
Remember that time when Kingsman came out? Everyone was like, "Ooh,
yeah." It's not that good. Now it's basically Citizen Kane compared to what's come out
to
since.
Everything else he's ever put out. It's literally his magnum opus.
It wasn't the greatest thing ever at the time either. I liked it a lot, but in Kingsman he did that shootout scene to Skinnerd, right? So am I remembering it right? Yep. He does dumb shit like that in this movie with needle drops, and you're like, no, Maddie, no.
There's a point where they're skating and they fight while skating, like Buddy's doing a triple axel and like smoking a guy in the head with their foot.
Skating on oil.
God. Sorry, gotta thank you. I'm not sure why this movie exists. I'm angry that I spent the time watching it.
Fair.
It's it's one of those movies that's just trying to be clever.
Fair.
Yeah.
And putting all the little breadcrumbs out, and you're like, haha, I remember this from 5 minutes ago. And you're like, no.
Sam Rockwell's the only reason you should ever no, you should not give this time anything. Just watch the memes of Sam Rockwell doing whatever Sam Rockwell does in this movie and call it a day.
I'll just watch that gif of him coming out, just dancing on, swinging his cane.
Yeah,
I'll just watch that over and over on repeat. I'm sure that'll do more than enough.
The CGI is also painful.
Super painful.
Super, super painful.
But I'm hoping that you guys have something to top me, because I know that someone has to talk about it.
I will let James talk about it. I want to talk about it real bad, but I'll let James talk about it. Because if he saw something worse than that, I haven't.
You guys can top me. I know you can.
I haven't.
I'll let James take that one away. But before we do, I guess my worst, but it's my best of my worst, because Argylle would have been on my
the worst,
would have been on my
the one I'm going to talk about also
would also be on my oops all bullshit list. But my other oops all bullshit is a triumph of cinema from Oscar-winning writer director Peter Farrelly. It's called Ricky Stanicky, and it's on Amazon Prime a few weeks ago. And
goody!
It's better than Argylle. It's better than what you're going to talk about, but it's not good.
Yeah.
It has no sense of pacing whatsoever.
Yeah.
The jokes are not funny. They set up jokes and don't use them.
Wonderful.
And just like the whole thing is, Ricky Stanicky is just like a character that they just created, that they just use to get out of things.
Sure.
Or our buddy Ricky, he has cancer. We got to go to this. We got to go see him. And they go to see a Mark Rebier show or whatever.
Sure.
And they run into this guy, this fucking loser played by John Cena, who also in Argylle. And he does, what is his shtick is he has a dirty show where he sings songs and dresses in costumes, but he makes them all sexual and all about masturbating.
Sure.
Mildly funny for some of it, just because John Cena is wearing dumb fucking costumes. Like he does like Baby One More Time, but it's like about masturbating, and he's dressed up like Britney Spears.
Lovely.
It's weird. And just like it goes from there, and it's just like it's not funny. John Cena is fucking running circles around everybody, trying his fucking best. They fucking embarrass the shit out of William H. Macy, and it should be illegal what they do to this poor bastard. But just like Zac Efron, like I told you guys a few months ago that the Iron Claw, he was a revelation in this movie. And you're like, Zach, where did this all come from? Where is this acting come from? Why are you like this amazing thespian? And then you watch Ricky Stanicky and you're like, nope, that's who Zac Efron is.
That's real Zac Efron.
Can't act his way out of a fucking paper bag. Can't do anything.
Yeah.
And then there's just like a pivot. I would say like, this movie's almost 2 hours, and I would say like an hour and 20, hour and 30. There's a pivot in the movie where it just gets very fucking dramatic for no reason. And it's completely unearned. And you're like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Why did you turn? Because it's kind of like giving a reason for why all these lies kept like piling up. I don't want to tell you the reason because it's fucking weird. And you're just like, but this is supposed to be a comedy. Peter, where's the comedy? Yeah. Like I laugh more at Green Book. Come on.
God.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Bleak.
It definitely belongs in like the early 2000s, like early 2010s.
It's just so bad.
Yeah. And it's like the epitome of like toxic masculinity.
It's so toxic. And just like some of the dumb shit that happens, you're like, What?
How am I supposed to root for you?
Who am I supposed to root for? Who am I rooting for? Why is this movie? Why is the crux of where this movie needs to go? Why is like the inciting incident like an hour and 20 minutes into the movie?
Oh God, into a 2-hour movie?
Why did this movie just pivot?
What did it just like, waffle for an hour and 20 minutes?
It does, man. It does. Jesus. And there's a fucking James, there's a bris joke and there's a fucking circumcision joke and it involves fucking Jeff Ross.
Oh no.
That's how you know that there's something wrong.
Actually, yeah, that's how you know your movie's wrong when Jeff fucking Ross is involved.
Dude, literally, I was like, this is okay. This is okay. Okay, yeah, it's not the greatest thing, but I'm having a couple of chuckles, and this is fucking, this is cringe city.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Ross comes on.
That's right. That's where I took off. I was like, you know what? I'm out of here.
I'm good. I'm good.
Do you want to hear a fun fact about Ricky Stanicky?
Does it involve Jeff Ross?
No, it doesn't. I've heard that Ricky Stanicky was on the blacklist in 2010. And it literally took them 14 years to make this movie.
It should have stayed on the blacklist.
Now that you guys know that fact, Dave, now you know why it's like
there are 6 credited screenwriters and 2 credited story writers.
God,
like 8 people took a crack at this
fucking people.
Yeah,
oh my god,
what a disaster!
It's fucked.
Oh my god, and Bill Macy, God bless his soul. We saw him at a urinal once and he looked at us weird. Oh, yeah! And he had to do some embarrassing shit in Shameless. Not as embarrassing as he has to do in
Incredible.
Yeah, that's not funny. That's not funny. It wouldn't have been funny in 2010 either.
No, it wouldn't.
And like some of the easy shots that I thought he would take, he doesn't take. I'm like, why would you put this person here if you're not going to make a joke about her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pete, I know where you came from, Peter Farrelly. Don't lie to me. Yeah. I know you want to make a joke about this poor disabled woman. I know you want to make the joke. Why aren't you making the joke?
Don't try to be the better man now.
You can't be the better man. Or 35 years later. Yeah. You can't do it, man. Just make the joke. Just don't put her there.
We're all expecting it. Do your fucking job. Dance your fucking little monkey dance. Let's go.
Don't put her there if you're not going to make the joke. Yeah. Don't put the small Irishman there if you're not going to make the joke. He's a little person. Yeah. I know you want to make the joke, Peter. Just make the joke. Yeah. Just do it. Yeah. We're all expecting it. Why are you trying?
And like you said, don't be
you won it.
Misdirection.
You won it all. You won. How many Oscars did he win? 2?
2.
He won 2 Oscars. Okay. I think it's 2 he won. You won an Oscar. You can't go just because you won it then. You're back to your bread and butter now. Don't let us down. Just make the joke, okay? Just make the joke.
He's too high class now.
He's not high class enough. Just make the joke, man. Tony, did he win 1 or 2 Oscars? You have his autograph, don't you?
I do have his autograph. Yeah.
On a ticket for Green Book.
On a ticket for Green Book. God. Yeah, buddy, I fucking did it, man. Peter Farrelly has 2 Oscars, and one of those Oscars is for writing.
Yeah, of course.
You know who has 1 Oscar? Martin Scorsese. You know who has 2 Oscars? Peter Farrelly.
Yeah, incredible. No notes.
Wow.
James,
can I scrape the bottom of the barrel now?
Scrape it.
Let's go right to the fucking depths, the bowels of this well.
I want to be deep in the abyss for this one.
Oh, you're in 7 layers of shit, my friend.
7. 100 layers of shit. Just
7.
Every layer of shit you can imagine.
If we had better Wi-Fi in Dominican, we would have watched this.
Welcome to my tale of Madam Web.
Oh, Jesus.
What the actual fuck? Speaking of way too many writers, this one had 5.
It's not a good sign.
What the fuck is happening in this movie? This is probably the most directionless, unfocused mess I've probably ever seen. With And I think it's still the sticking point. It's still the thing that bothers me the most, and probably only because Dave sent me a reel of it today, with the worst ADR I have ever seen on a major fucking Sony movie that came out. I don't care if you add ADR to a scene that has background actors that maybe you're just trying to fill the noise or the void or whatever the fuck, and no one cares about these characters. Your main fucking villain is standing there in a shot, mouth agape, and words are just coming through your speakers. Like, you're just like, his mouth is not moving. There's the scene when he is, and it was in the reel and it's wonderful. He is ADR'd a line as he's like rolling over in bed to talk to this lady who's in bed with him. And you can tell that it's ADR'd. And you can also tell when it switches to the actual audio, because there's an audio quality difference when it actually goes to him talking, because otherwise his mouth is just closed the whole time. And then he says the line that actually lines up right at the end.
I've seen student films that sound better than this.
Yeah, it felt like that scene in The Room when he goes to buy the flowers from the flower shop, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? Like, why is it cut like this? Why is the dialogue edited like this? Why is it? That's the entire movie. Ooh. It's just, why is it? Why?
And he's a great actor.
Why?
He's a great actor. Tahar Rahim, he's in The Mauritanian, and he's incredible in that movie.
Yeah. Why?
And he's barefoot. He's barefoot for the whole movie.
Yeah,
why?
I don't. He's just.
Where did he get his costume? How do you get his powers? How do you get his costume?
None of it matters.
Why?
No one knows. Why did he get his powers? I have to do this for my family. Why? Don't worry about it. We're never going to talk about it again. I have to keep these powers. Why? Question mark. Literally a question mark. I have no idea what his motivation was. I have no idea.
You know his motivation. These girls are going to kill him.
I understand that motivation.
Sometime.
That motivation is the only motivation that he has.
And he needs to murder them now because they're teenagers.
To kill me at some point. That's it. Yeah, I am having visions, and these girls are going to kill me at some point. Why he got the powers in the first place? No idea. Why he needs to keep his powers? No idea.
He has the same powers as Madam Web.
No.
Not quite.
No. He has dreams that seem to predict
the future.
And
his future.
And she has powers that
she can see things happening sort of before they do, but it's not dreams. It's like kind of waking hallucinations, but it's not even about her. It's not things that are happening to her. It's things that happen around her.
Yeah.
None of this involves her.
Yeah.
And also, he
also can move, like he can move in different, like,
he
panes of existence, and he can walk on walls and like a spider. I don't know, man.
None of it's explained because apparently none of it matters. Can we also talk about the fact that so she gets these powers, right, where she can now kind of see briefly into someone's future. Her captain or whatever the fuck, she killed him.
Oh yeah,
straight up.
Oh yeah,
because this whole thing is let me drive the ambulance. Don't drive the ambulance. Like I'll drive. Let me do it. Something bad might happen. I have a gut feeling, because she doesn't want to say that because otherwise she'd be crazy if she was like, I saw your death. She's like, no, let me drive. He refuses. He gets in the ambulance, drives away, and then gets hit by a truck. But she delays him getting into the ambulance. So if she did nothing, he would have gotten in the ambulance, driven away, and not getting hit by the truck. So she caused this man's death.
And then she goes to his funeral wearing jeans and a red trench coat.
So this is all like you're learning about her powers or whatever, and she like is given a week off work because this guy died in front of her and all of that. It's traumatic and everything else. And she's depressed and on the couch, and her partner is trying to be like, hey, like you should go to the funeral. It's his funeral.
Her partner, whose name is Ben, but you never know his last name. But his last name is very clearly Parker, but they won't say it.
My sister-in-law is pregnant.
Wink, wink, wink.
She's gonna give birth.
Wink, wink, wink. To a boy.
I'm gonna be his Uncle Ben. Wink, 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 wink.
Rough.
Fucking Christ.
They even make a joke about it at the end, and it's so bad.
So bad. Anyway, so she's gonna, the whole thing kicks off with these three teenagers. She's trying to get to this funeral wearing jeans and a red leather jacket. I'm like, who the fuck goes to a funeral in jeans and a red leather jacket? Like, you do not look like you're going upstate for a funeral. You look like you're going to the hoedown bar. Like, what the fuck are you wearing? It's just, it never gets anything.
And then she kidnaps the kids, and then she's in like a taxi cab that she stole, and the way that she makes it so that they get off the trail is She takes off the license plates, but she doesn't take off the markings of the cab.
Yeah.
that say what cab it is.
Yeah. There's just none of it makes any sense.
So
the editing is an unfocused mess.
There's a random like.
It doesn't even matter. It's not even if you just it doesn't even matter if you turn your brain off. You'll still be bewildered. Like the fuck is going on? It's an unfocused mess.
She takes a trip to the Amazon.
And somehow because her mother
was researching spiders when she died.
Spiders.
Yeah. That line's not in the movie. She goes on this random trip, even though she's definitely on a most wanted list.
Yeah, but then she's like all plastered over the TV. They are looking for her specifically, and she just somehow catches a flight out of New York, no problem. No questions asked.
And this is after 9/11.
Yeah, this is 2002.
Yeah, 2003.
2003.
Even better.
Right after 9/11.
Literally.
The most lax police enforcement I've ever seen in my life.
You're just sitting there and you're like, I understand some of this and his magic God's eye thing.
Yeah, they bring a God's eye into
it. You bring a God's eye into it.
The technology shouldn't exist back then, but okay, I guess it makes sense. And, I guess you can just transfer your dreams into it and it'll just magically figure it all out for you. Anyways, I don't know how she manages to get around unseen where people just don't notice her, but she does. And it just keeps moving. And you're like, this is an origin story for an origin story for an origin story. And you're like, by the end of it, you're like, that.
Who fucking cares?
Who cares?
Literally, it ends.
Who cares?
So some of them.
And nobody wears. They wear the costumes twice in dream scenes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, no. Well, I guess, yeah. Twice in dream scenes. It's basically 2 dream scenes. It's all you get of them in costume. And really, the last one is just like Madame Web just being like, this is what the future is going to be like. Fuck off. Also, some of the most ill-placed music and score I've ever seen. Like the score doesn't even make sense for what's going on in the scene. She's like racing and speeding away, but it's like she's moving at like 30 kilometers an hour and you're just like, you're driving so unbelievably slow. There's no stakes to any of this. Like all of it feels. She hits dude with the car door when she drives into the diner, and it might as well. The door looks literally the way that the punch lands. It feels like it was like made of styrofoam. It's just like the softest little. Thump. He's like, ah!
It's rough.
It's a fucking travesty.
Rough.
It just reads like a movie that definitely got cut to ribbons.
Yeah,
but also just like that people stopped caring for halfway through making it.
This is what it is. You know that scene in Argo where like they've already shredded all the documents and all the terrorists have raided and they're trying to piece everything back together. That's what this is. Someone shredded the movie and gave it to an intern and said, I know you've never seen it or read the script, but piece it back together. And that's what we're going to go with. And that's literally how it feels. It just feels like someone was like, these 2 scenes kind of look like they go together. Put them there.
It's just like, you're like, why did we need a Madame Web movie? And they're like, I don't know.
Why not?
When there was $5 Tuesdays, this was another movie that I was going to see.
I'm glad you did.
I actually almost did. This one I almost
did. It was between that or Argylle, and I was like, I don't know, man. It's looking pretty bleak.
Just it's the definition of they knew that they could, but they didn't stop to ask if they should make this movie.
And just some of the effects are awful.
Yeah,
it's just
I heard there's no action.
There's like a vague sense of action.
Yeah,
it's definitely
there's the idea of action.
And as James mentioned to me the one time, there's Schrodinger's.
Oh yeah, fucking Schrodinger's CPR course. It's not Schrodinger. Fucking Chekhov. Chekhov's CPR.
Chekhov's CPR.
It's like it's so ham-fisted in there. They're like, hey, you know what you should learn right now while we're sitting in this motel room doing nothing at all? You should learn CPR. Okay, here's the best way to do it.
And she doesn't even teach it right. At least fucking Titan taught it right.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're just like, why is this scene here? Oh, right, because it has to happen again. Otherwise, what the fuck is the point of this scene?
I was thinking Schrodinger because it's like, this is the movie that's in Schrodinger's box.
Yeah.
And you don't know if you should open it because you're like, maybe it could be good, but maybe it'll be bad. Maybe it could until you open the box, you don't know what it's going to be like.
It's bad. It's bad. Maybe. It's always bad.
It's always bad. And you open the box, and you're like, I wish I didn't open the box.
Is the cat alive or dead? It's always dead.
I wish I didn't open this box.
Always dead.
I feel like it's like the Dune pain box where you're just like, should I? You put it in, you're like,
Tony, I wanted to stab my neck with the gum jabbar.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right.
Fuck.
I'm excited.
They do Sydney Sweeney dirty. Yeah. They do Shoshana dirty. They do Emma Roberts dirty. They do Adam Scott dirty.
Literally everybody is done dirty in this movie.
Everybody in this movie is done dirty. And Dakota Johnson's standing there at the end, and she's like, well, guys, I did my best. I did my best.
Yeah.
All right. I try. Like, I guess I tried. Like, I love Dakota, and she has a very specific acting style. This is not the movie for it.
Yeah.
Not the movie for it. And there's literally a moment, Tony, where she doesn't know if she has spider powers or not. So she jumps at the wall and she falls and she just slides down the wall and just like
crumbles into a heap.
Crumbles into a heap and defeat. And she's like, well, shit. That's the movie. This one scene describes the movie.
The entirety of the movie.
I'm excited. I'm gonna drop an edible and watch this movie.
You know what? It's not gonna make it better.
Yeah, it's
you're not gonna understand what's happening. You're gonna come back to us afterwards and be like, I don't know what I just watched. And I'm like, you know what? I can't make sense of it.
You didn't.
You know what though? You kind of have now. You know what it is.
I know what it is.
You know what it is.
It's true. It's true.
I'm pretty excited. All right.
That was real brevity, James.
I'm sorry, I couldn't with that one. That's why I wanted to keep everything else brevity, because I knew when we got to the worst for all three of us.
Selfish.
No. When I knew when we got to the worst for all three of us, I knew all three were going to be fucking. We got to talk about them for a while because they were all fucking dog shit.
And they all came out this year.
Great. I'm so 2024 really shaping up to be a banger year right now.
High five for being current, boys.
Oh, yeah.
High five. Fives all around. Fives all around.
We did it.
Should we stay current?
Yeah, we don't have a Shutter Minute tonight, right?
No, we don't, because Shutter is not available in Dominican. What the fuck?
You don't have a VPN?
Yeah, but like,
it's all right.
What I'm saying is you didn't try. Anyway, Shutter's disappointing.
Now that you say it, I just feel like an idiot.
It's okay. You're a special little guy.
Oh God. So why don't we talk about the movie we were supposed to talk about?
Yes,
Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say Afterlife because I feel like that should be the next movie in a sequel.
That's fair.
But Frozen Empire is the one that we saw.
Yeah.
I got a pin, by the way.
Oh, you motherfucker! They didn't give me a pin.
Yeah, they had some extras. They handed me a pin. I was like,
what was it?
It's the Firehouse.
Oh,
nice.
I think I saw the bin where they were when I was leaving. I almost took one, but I was like, I don't need a pin.
It was a very nice pin. It's actually a really nice pin.
Now I want a pin.
It's a really nice pin.
I saw it in 40. I saw it in 40. Yeah, there's like 5 of them.
Fucking losers.
Oh, there you
go. I saw it in 40X because I had a coupon.
I saw it in AVX because that was what was available. But anyway,
so tell me, are the critics
fine?
Right?
It's fine, but not fine.
It's fine. I honestly didn't have a bad time with it. A lot of people are like really shitting on this movie and saying it's like fucking Madam Web levels of bad.
Okay, it's not bad. When you see Madam Web and you're like, okay, it's not that bad.
That's a little hyperbolic because like I actually sat there and had a good time and had a few laughs. And
so what are your feelings about the original Ghostbusters?
So as someone who never really grew up with them.
Okay.
And who only kind of got into it a little bit more recently, where I finally sort of closed a blind spot by watching the original Ghostbusters. I don't have like a strong connection to them in any way, shape, or form. I think the original Ghostbusters was unique for the time that it came out and very well done, and a lot of fun. And all I'm literally expecting is something similar, but also I don't have many expectations for Ghostbusters. I think I can put it that way. Like, I don't have a lot tied up in this franchise that makes me feel one way or another about it. I think it's a great movie series, but I'm not like reverential to the originals. I don't really care. As long as it's a solid movie.
Okay.
That's all I really give a shit about.
Okay.
Dave?
Well, I worship at the altar of Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I was going to say Ghostbusters is like a pinnacle in our childhood for sure.
But, see, it wasn't in mine. But
anyway. that said, I can see its flaws. And I also think some of the hyperbole around what they did to the female sequel that was a little too nostalgia driven and a little too unfunny and a little too meta for its own good.
Yeah.
but I did see the movie.
Yeah.
I saw it twice now. And I think they treated it very unfairly.
Absolutely.
And it should have been better, but it also should have been treated better. All of that said, the last movie, Afterlife, was very steeped in nostalgia.
Absolutely was.
But it tried to take it in like a weird direction because it was in Oklahoma. It wasn't in New York like all the other ones, which was weird.
A whole different thing.
Versus this one that's in New York again.
Yes.
So on one hand, but it's also not as steeped in nostalgia, I didn't think. I think it tried to take it in another direction. To do
something completely different.
Tried to, like, it wasn't just going on about Gozer the Gozerian and fucking
redoing the entire sequence.
It wasn't redoing Gozer again.
No,
like
it was doing
did
a whole
something
different thing.
Different.
Yep.
And like it's aping on like the animated series, which is fine, but I also felt like there was way too many fucking characters in this movie with way too many fucking agendas.
Absolutely.
And there was way too much going on, and there was like a little bit in the middle where the seat wasn't rumbling for me, and I got lost in it, and because somebody was having a conversation to the other side of me, but at the same time, even if I wasn't listening, trying to be like shut the fuck up, I still would have been lost because it just stops dead.
Yeah, and I mean it also felt like side quest the movie. Like everybody had to go do a little side quest in order for it to propel, because there was just so many fucking characters. I will say that is a huge problem with this movie, is that they brought everybody who's alive from the originals back, and everybody who's
except Rick Moranis and Sigourney Weaver.
Correct.
Except for those two. Does Sigourney Weaver have a little cameo?
No.
Shit? Okay, well that's stupid.
You see her name in the background.
Yeah. No. Anyway,
are they main characters, or do they take kind of like a backseat and they only show up like in the third act?
Oh no, they're most of them are
front and center.
Like
I would say
Dan Aykroyd is definitely a
front and center.
Top tier supporting character
involved in most of that movie.
Yeah. What's his name? Ernie Hudson is in quite a bit of the movie.
Less than Aykroyd, but quite a bit. And then Bill Murray is the least involved.
Yeah.
He just shows up.
When he shows up in the middle of the movie, it doesn't make any sense.
It makes
but
no
at the end,
sense.
he shows up, and you're like, "This is exactly where Bill Murray should show up."
This is when it should have happened.
And he's acting like he just showed up. But why was he there in the middle of the movie? He shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's her name? The secretary is
Annie
kind
Potts
of there.
just kind of shows up. Basically, it's the kind of movie where they all need to be in the exact same place at the exact same time. And when that moment comes, you're like, why are half these people here? They don't have any reason to be here.
Yeah, they just needed them to
just
be there.
It's rough.
Yeah. So like
I'm sorry.
It has issues. It has problems. It's not as good as Afterlife.
Although it's not as egregious as Afterlife,
but it's not as egregious as Afterlife.
Fucking Dan Aykroyd stops the movie to tell you what the baseball card stats of what everybody's been doing the last 30 years. This movie, like literally at the top of the movie, they're like, okay, so they're back in New York. Ernie did this. Dan's here, and okay, let's go.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to compare it now that you said that too. It's like it. In some ways, Afterlife is better than Frozen Empire. Yeah. In some ways, Frozen Empire is better than Afterlife. To me, it just ended up kind of middle of the road. And I think Paul Rudd probably is the best part of the movie. For me, anyway.
Well, he's the best part of Afterlife too, right?
Yeah, he's still
I thought he was completely undercut. Yeah, and there's one part where he's singing the song, and it's weird.
Yeah. Because Busted makes him feel good.
Yeah, that's that part. I was like rolling my eye. Like I might have actually gotten a twitch from rolling my eye so hard.
I don't know. He brings enough charm that kind of keeps it going. But there's so much shit, and like Finn Wolfhard is barely there.
Yeah, he's just hanging out with Slimer.
Yeah, occasionally on his own side quest with Slimer, even though that's a whole other thing.
That bit's funny at the end, though.
Yeah,
I know that guy. That bit got a chuckle out of me.
Yeah, there was chuckle moments in it.
It's just there's so much going on, and there doesn't need to be this. It's not complicated, guys. Yeah. You're blue collar people. You can't keep the lights on to save your life, and you're trying to save the world from ghosts. Okay, you don't need Patton Oswalt to explain this fucking weird ghost. Yeah, you don't need Kumail Nanjiani
to be a fucking firebender.
To have this whole elaborate backstory involving the opening of the movie. There's too much going on.
Yeah.
And it just gets
Although that
in
opening
the
of the
way.
movie was really cool.
It's cool. It's just like there's so much that just gets in the way of the movie, and then there's a whole bit with like
the whole ghost thing,
the ghost like teenager
ghost
girl.
Love. The ghost love story is fucking weird.
Is there any busting? No, they
there's a little bit of busting.
There's some busting,
but like
there's so many
people are saying there's not enough. There's not enough busting.
There's not enough busting.
There's not enough, but it's fine. It's just like they want to continue the story, but they keep halting themselves.
Yeah,
because there's like some genuine extensions.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're not just fighting Gozer the Gozerian.
Yeah.
Every time they want to do something, though, they feel like that's they stop themselves because they have to introduce someone else. Like that's what it was. It was like, oh, we're going, and oh no, now I got to get to know who the fuck this is now.
And they keep like not so much for like the returning OGs, but like other characters from the series that you would recognize.
Yeah.
They like pause for dramatic like applause. They're like, hey, it's this guy. And like literally the camera just stops.
Yeah.
So you could applaud or have a reaction.
This is fucking stupid.
And it waits for like 2 beats too long. Yeah. Because you're like, okay, sure.
Can we
I
cut?
recognize him. Can we cut? Can we go on? Like,
can we do anything?
Like, great. I'm glad he's still alive. I'm glad he can run it. I'm glad he could come out. Where's Rick Moranis already? Like, come on. Like, I don't care about this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. And like, sure, of course they got to say he's dickless. Yeah. Okay. Guys.
Great.
It's just.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was aggressively fine. I had a few chuckles.
It's just fine.
It's a bit too long and a bit too convoluted for its own good.
It's too convoluted. Like some of the effects are not as bad as they should be. The kid who played Podcast aged like 10 years between the movies.
He's great too. I watched
barely
Afterlife
in this one.
And really
barely in it. He has a side quest to go on.
Because there's so many
love podcasts.
Because there's so many characters.
You don't have time for anybody.
They don't have time for anybody. Nobody has a real effect. And there's like some genuine, like Carrie Coon's just in the background.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And like Paul Rudd, there's like some genuine emotional beats.
Yeah.
Like, but they
unearned. Don't land.
Yeah. They don't land and they're unearned.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Like something happens and you're like, oh, that would be great if, the movie focused on this the whole fucking time.
That sucks. That really sucks because like that podcast scene. I remember it in Afterlife when Finn Wolfhard's yelling at him and he's like, I got my own fucking problems.
Yeah.
Right? That's a shame.
It's just it's just fine.
It's just fine. It could have been better and stronger if there was like 5 less characters.
Yeah.
Or if they did the right thing where they're like, because the first one or Afterlife is definitely a family move. Like the family is trying to come together in the wake of Egon dying and trying to put the pieces back together, and weird shit's happening. And Paul Rudd's here and just like, and then it goes off and becomes a remake of the first movie type thing. Yeah. And then like the OGs the OGs have to come back to help them save the day. Fine.
Yeah.
But still it's and the end is earned because it's about the family
coming together.
And in this movie, it starts with the family because now they're the Ghostbusters.
Yeah. In New York, busting ghosts and getting in trouble with the police type thing. But it's just like, and then it just focuses on other things when it should be about because it keeps coming back, but then it goes away. Yeah.
And then it keeps coming back and then it goes away. Yeah. So all these things that should be earned aren't.
You just don't have enough time. There's not enough time. And this movie's like 2 hours.
It's almost 2 hours
long.
It's so fucking long.
It doesn't have enough time. There's just so much shit going on and so many fucking side quests on side quests on side quests that you're just like.
And like characters just get like lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one guy shows up. He's like, oh, are we still here? Type thing. Like, okay, where the fuck were you for the last 20 minutes? You should have been involved in this.
Yeah.
Rough.
Yeah.
And there's too much into it.
So
way too much.
So
it's like 2 movies worth of shit.
Yeah. So overall, should I be rushing to the theater?
No.
This?
$5 Tuesday.
$5 Tuesday.
This is actually worth seeing on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right.
If you like Ghostbusters, it's worth seeing on a Tuesday.
Yeah. This is a $5 Tuesday movie.
Yeah. It's not as bad as Argylle. It's most certainly not Madam Web. It's
not as bad as any of the worst that we talked about tonight.
It is much better than all of the worst movies we talked about tonight, but it's just it could and should have been better, and it's not.
Yeah.
Rough.
Yeah. It just needs to be more, you know what? The one comparison it has to Madam Web, focus.
Yeah.
Like it lacked focus. It was just kind of all over the place trying to do way too much.
I really love that 100-year Columbia logo, though. It was in Madam Web, and it was in this.
I'm enjoying it. I'm really liking it. It's very cool.
Very cool.
That's
very cool.
like, you can just probably find it on YouTube, the 100 years of Columbia pictures. It's nice.
They played it before the Bad Boys trailer.
Yeah. It's fun. Yeah. It's nice.
Cool.
Also, very good trailer. That movie looks awesome.
Melissa sent me the trailer on Instagram. She's like, this looks like shit. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know.
Do you need a good divorce lawyer? He knows one.
I don't. Yes. I don't know if we're allowed to see another Bad Boys movie. The last time we saw a Bad Boys movie, the world ended.
Yeah, that's true.
We can't do it. Can't. Dave sounded like Harvey Firestein the last time we saw a Bad Boys.
I don't want to do that again.
So the three of us are definitely seeing this movie together, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely, we are.
Fantastic.
Book it, Dan. Book it. The moment those tickets, Dano. The moment those tickets go on sale, fucking buy 3.
Let's do it.
So we're going to our little main segment now.
Yeah, we'll go on to the main segment, which is well, it's the remake of Roadhouse.
Again.
Starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
They were too busy.
Conor McGregor.
Too busy thinking they could, that they never thought, should we? Should we remake Roadhouse?
I was very apprehensive when I heard this in the news. They're like, we're going to remake Roadhouse. I was like,
you were right to be apprehensive.
Should you though?
I mean, Roadhouse is razor thin. There's not a lot of depth to Roadhouse.
It's not a good movie,
guys.
It's not a good movie.
It's fun as fuck movie.
Yeah.
It's also the sleaziest fucking movie I've ever seen.
So fucking cheese.
Now we're talking about the original, to give everyone context here.
That movie is sleaze, but it's also.
I love that we all watched the remake and then immediately had to watch the original over a palate cleanse of whatever the fuck the remake is.
It's like it's just the perfect date night movie, because there's gorgeous women and they're topless, and there's Patrick Swayze and he's topless, and just like they're fighting, there's romance, it's the perfect date night movie.
Swayze shirtless doing Tai Chi by the shore, and fucking Buddy the farmer, they're brushing his hair behind his ear after because he's just enamored with Swayze's body movements.
Wouldn't you be?
Dave, I was naked watching the movie.
I mean, I get it.
Sam Elliott basically saying, I love you, B-Ho, in every other scene.
Fucking can we just Sam fucking Elliott.
Fucking Elliott. That man.
Holy shit.
That man has been 76 years old since 1952. I don't know how.
I forgot Sam Elliott was in it. And when he showed up, I was like, fucking Sam Elliott, man.
Yeah. It's fucking incredible.
That's literally what I did the first time we watched it. Yeah. Man. That movie just fucks so hard.
Yeah.
It's just so sleazy, but it's so much fun, and it has no right to be as fun. And the director's name is Rowdy.
Yeah. like
he
you fulfilled know everything he needed.
You got to know what you're getting into when the director's name is Rowdy.
The double deuce. Like, it's just, there's so much charm in this fucking movie.
Keith David.
Keith David shows up. And fucking
Jackie Treehorn.
Jackie Treehorn. Ben Gazzara. That's
Ben Gazzara, yeah.
But just it's sleazy. It's dumb. It doesn't make that. It's fucking ridiculous. Do you know who that guy is? It's Dalton.
It's like fucking Dalton, man.
We heard about this bouncer guy.
Yeah.
I ripped the guy's throat out.
How close knit is the bouncer world? And also the fact that when Sam Elliott's character is finally shown, because he's talked about, but when he's finally shown, it's him and Swayze having the phone conversation after, shit's happening in the background of the strip club that Sam Elliott's bouncing, which. Perfect. He's
or
like
every night's
he's like
wet t-shirt night.
Yeah, every night.
Wet G-string.
Wet G-string night.
He's like, hey, to Swayze's him. It's like, hey, how's it going? Sort of thing. I haven't heard from you all. He's like, oh, new town, same shit. I'm like, how many fucking towns have you been to as the bouncer that has to fucking gentrify a club? How is this not the first time this has happened? Why was this now many times that this has happened and in many different cities? Who the fuck are you?
And fucking, I didn't notice this until this time, where he was just like, you're the best. No, Wade Garrett's the best, but I can't afford him. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then Sam Elliott is
fucking Garrett.
Just like, you knew this guy too?
and you can't afford him. He's working at the smallest strip club I've ever seen in my life. How much fucking... What do you mean you can't afford him?
Amazing.
Just... Oh my God, no notes. And nobody can take out Swayze.
No.
Nobody can take out Swayze. No. The only thing that can take out Swayze is cancer. That's it.
And it did.
And it did. That's the only thing that can take out Swayze.
It's a dark one.
Yeah.
It's just like he's ripping throats, he's roundhousing people, and just like
he's fucking tossing guys through windows,
tossing guys off
with polar bears on people.
He just gets stabbed, just like whatever. He walks around. He's the kind of guy that keeps his medical records on his person.
Just makes it quicker. Fucking when he fucking he's in the boss's office there, and they're trying to rehire that bartender. And the bartender takes out the biggest knife I've ever seen on screen.
It's like a Crocodile Dundee knife.
Humongous. And this was just like in his belt loop. He's just like, and it's like 78 inches long. And I'm like, where was this? How are you walking around with this and it's not just stabbing your leg all the time? Like, what the fuck is this huge ass fucking Crocodile Dundee knife?
I love it.
Nuts.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Dave, you remember wrestling, right?
Yes.
I'm familiar.
You're familiar as well, James? Do you remember a wrestler by the name of Terry Funk?
Yes, I know Terry Funk is in the movie.
Terry Funk is in the movie.
Incredible.
That is fucking hilarious.
He's one of the lead pieces of shit.
He's
guys.
one of the lead pieces of shit.
He's the guy you think it's Terry Funk.
Yeah. Okay, that's Terry Funk. That makes sense.
Legit.
Yeah.
All of this to say, you can't. It's charming enough that you can't remake.
There's no point of remaking this.
There's no point of remaking it.
Yeah.
You said all you needed to say.
There was nothing much to say in the first place.
It's very much a lightning in the bottle kind of movie where you're like, we don't need to keep going.
No.
Yeah.
This is fine.
Much like a film we just talked about called Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
You don't need to keep going.
Don't need
you're
to
like,
keep
you know
going.
what? That's enough.
Yeah.
We said what we needed to say. So why did we remake Roadhouse?
I couldn't fucking tell you.
And why was the goal here to give Dalton more backstory that he doesn't need?
And give him a first name.
And gave him a first. Well, apparently he had a first name. You just never said it. It's in his medical records or whatever.
You don't fucking need to know.
Who
Did
cares?
they look at is his name what they actually named him?
It's James.
Okay.
Never mind.
See, that makes sense.
Doesn't matter. Who fucking cares? He's just Dalton.
There's all this backstory about who this Dalton character is, as opposed to being this mysterious
this
fucking
disgraced
bouncer.
MMA fighter.
And like that goes
so much
nowhere.
more.
Who the fuck cares?
He was so much more brooding because like Swayze played it like Dalton definitely got some demons, right? But like
Dalton just comes. Swayze's Dalton just comes with. He's done some shit in the past.
He's done some shit, and he needs
they talked
about it.
Yeah.
Sam Elliott was like, "Yo, you need to let that shit go," and he was just like, he has that moment, right? But that was it.
That's it.
Gyllenhaal spends the entirety of Roadhouse being a fucking brooding.
Every dream of his is just more of that fight.
It means nothing.
No.
Right?
It goes nowhere.
Yeah.
What was the point?
Who cares?
Who fucking cares? Did it make me care? Like Jake, outside of these moments when he's sitting sadly looking out the rainy window of a Greyhound bus, or sitting lonely in his car when he's being asked to move because he's sleeping in his car because he's so broke. Beyond these moments where he takes these moments to, or he wakes up from his dreams and he's like sad.
Sad.
He's not playing it that way. The rest of the movie, he's not that guy.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie, he's quippy and fun and lighthearted and just like la da 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 da. I could fucking kill anyone. Like,
I'm not afraid of anybody.
I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm gonna be the wise ass who drives the guys I just beat the shit out of to the hospital.
Yeah. Like it's a complete
Kokomo place. I like that.
It's a complete like juxtaposition to like this like brooding man that he's supposed to be. I'm like, who the fuck is who are these? They're like two different people.
Like divorcing our love of sleazy fucking Roadhouse from this movie. Just looking at it holistically as a movie.
Yeah.
He's a brooding fucking disgraced MMA fighter who gets asked to come down to a bar that's called the Roadhouse. And he has to like help clean it up. Okay. And there's like a greedy land developer who wants the land and he needs to stop him from getting the land and blah, blah, blah.
Can you actually help me? Why did he want the land?
he wants to like open a resort or something.
Yeah,
that's what it was. All right, because like
he was trying to get everybody on the island so that he can make the resort.
I think I missed something because I remember him researching. It's like there's no like you can't use this as a loading dock for drugs. You can't like da 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 da.
It was just like he
for
needs
illegal activity. So
it's just like it's the last piece of the land he needs to make the resort.
Sure,
and they're holding out.
Sure,
which reasons.
Sure,
but it's just like. It's like comical. They keep throwing new guys at him to take him out and they can't take him out. And they're like, okay, well, I guess we got to call in the big guns. And it's fucking Conor McGregor, whose name is Knox. And it's on his chain.
Knox.
It's on a chain.
Tattooed across his chest.
Across his chest. You're like,
that's in case he gets punched so much they can't identify his face. It just says Knox. He's good. That's his medical records right there.
And Conor McGregor just shows up and you're like, where the fuck did you come from?
we need to stop. We need to fucking stop putting athletes in movies as actors. They are not actors. They are bad at acting. Conor McGregor is objectively terrible. Like he is, I don't know what fucking, first of all, what fucking movie he's in. Second, he's just like whatever line he read on the script, he's just regurgitating it back out. There was no acting involved. He is just saying things that were written on the page as he would, I guess. I don't even know. He's just fucking like, like, what are you doing, you fucking weird Irish fuck?
One of the reviews on Letterboxd was, did someone forget to give McGregor his script?
Yeah, like, I don't know what he's doing. Like, he's just there, and this goes beyond this.
And he's not menacing at all. It's a joke.
Beyond Terry Crews, I don't know any other athlete that has successfully made it into fucking acting. And don't fucking tell me Cena or Johnson, because they were acting already in the ring for wrestling.
What about Howie Long?
No.
Or Jim Brown.
No.
Jim Brown.
Come
on, Jim Brown's a good actor.
Okay, maybe I'll give you Jim Brown.
What about O.J. Simpson?
God. See, he's just very good at lying. It's not an acting.
Legit.
I think he's a great actor, guys. He's done acting his entire life. He's still acting.
He's committed to the part, man. It's method. It's fucking method at this point.
He's committed.
Yeah, but fuck, like LeBron, Jordan, no. None of these fucking guys. Anyway, McGregor is now the latest in my slew of stop putting athletes in movies and just being like, yeah, he's going to be great because people knew who Conor McGregor is. You can't fucking act. He's fucking terrible.
Oh, he's a blast. I absolutely
fuck off.
Bad.
He's so bad.
He's so bad.
No, I get it. And that's the point.
No, it's not. Don't see. And this is what I was worried about. People like you going like, no, this was the choice that they made. They wanted to make him like this.
Honestly, I wasn't that bothered because you know he's going to be bad. You're not expecting a great performance. He's just a fucking idiot. Whatever. It's just somebody for fucking.
I'm sorry. You couldn't find some other. You couldn't find some other meathead who's actually good at acting instead of fucking Conor McGregor for a name.
You're literally remaking a Roadhouse and going from an MMA angle. What the fuck were you guys expecting?
He's not menacing though, Tony. He's trying to be menacing, and I just want to laugh at him.
You really think Gyllenhaal is menacing? Like when you look at him, you're just like, oh man, that guy got some demons. No,
I don't know. It was just
I saw Nightcrawler. I know he's got demons.
He's got demons, but he doesn't got demons in this one.
He doesn't have Swayze level demons.
Like
you know what this movie was missing? Gyllenhaal didn't do fucking Tai Chi.
There's no time for Tai Chi.
There's no for Tai Chi charm.
Yeah.
There's not enough.
There's no charm.
They don't play the sleaze the same way.
No.
And there's no real like his romance with her. It's not really there.
No, they have no fucking chemistry.
But like some of the people they throw against Swayze, they look menacing enough. Yeah. You're not laughing at them.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor shows up and you're laughing at him.
Yeah.
Billy Magnuson, who's not menacing at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
You're
Give me a break.
Give me a break.
Arturo over there doing
I know your boy Arturo.
Yeah.
I knew you loved him.
I fucking loved Arturo. He was
I did too.
Fucking Paxton Yakashita.
Paxton Hall Yoshida. Yeah.
Like, give me a break.
They brought in the people they bring in are not menacing enough.
No.
Like Gyllenhaal Like you can see that he's not like he's having fun and he's not taking it too seriously unless he's
trying
brooding.
his best.
Unless he's brooding.
Yeah.
But like you're just like, oh, of course he's gonna beat the shit out of these guys.
Yeah.
At least like Swayze got the shit beaten out of him multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, and he got stabbed multiple times. It's just like you're not like when he's introduced at the beginning with fucking what's his nuts? Who shows
Post
up?
Malone.
Post Malone's like, nah, I'm not fighting him. It's like, okay,
cool,
right?
Cool.
I don't get that. Like,
Yeah.
I just
he's
like,
missing. He's missing that presence. Like when like I remember watching Roadhouse for the first time. Go on.
Okay, continue. No, you continue.
I remember watching Roadhouse for the first time, and I remember the opening moment when you see Swayze, and he just has this like presence, this like commanding, like he is commanding the scene, and I remember smiling, right? Because it's just like fuck, man, like Swayze's on, like this is when Swayze's hot, right? And then you look at Gyllenhaal.
There's only one time Swayze wasn't hot, Tony.
I know.
That's when he was dead.
Stop going there, man. God damn.
In fact, he's still not on. He's frigid. He's also probably dust. But anyway.
Anyways, you get that.
I say this because I love Swayze, but
it is one of his best performances, if not the best.
Yeah.
Ghost.
Fuck Ghost.
Dirty Dancing. Donnie Darko. Point Break.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'll give you
Black Dog.
Enough. Gyllenhaal doesn't have that commanding thing. Like he's playing as a wise ass. He's trying to be that wise ass charm that Swayze was, and he's not delivering it properly.
And I think I can narrow it down why.
Yeah.
Talking literally about this this opening, your first introduction to Dalton, the former, the first, and Dalton the second. Dalton the first, you get this charming scene where he basically outsmarts someone at the bar that he's working at, of just like, yeah, we'll take it outside, and whatever, he throws him out, and then it's just like wink, nod, nudge, like, how you fuck yourself, you're a fucking idiot. And like he smiles and goes back in, and that is your introduction, as this guy is first of all a good bouncer, secondly, smart as fuck, and third, charming, because it's all right there. Your first introduction to Gyllenhaal, this brooding guy in a hoodie comes in, and the guy who he wanted to open fight night match walks away and is like, no, I'm not fucking fighting him. That's it. You have all the charm immediately on screen with Swayze. You're given all of it in one fucking shot right at the beginning. 30 seconds into the movie, you know exactly that Swayze's a charming bastard who's actually really smart. And for this one, you're given, who the fuck is this guy?
He's a meathead who's a fighter.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
And the movie
right
takes
there.
its time showing you why he's so disgraced, and by the end of it, you're like,
who fucking cares?
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't care, and the movie doesn't care either.
And there's no charm. There's no charm from frame one all the way straight through to the end. Yeah. Also, as a weird nitpick, and only because it happens, and I'm still kind of bewildered by it, and I'm wondering if I even saw it right or not. They burned down that bookstore.
Yes.
And at the end, he goes and gives them a bunch of cash.
Spoiler alert.
Sure. Did anyone was that bookstore burnt or not? Because, you know, he goes in at night after the fire, and first of all, he's just allowed to stand in an active arson investigation, and the firefighter's just like, hey, you shouldn't be in there, and then the firefighter just walks away. Like, he's still standing there. Did you think maybe, like, don't contaminate this fucking arson scene? And like, you know, they cut, it like gets burnt to a husk. It is black inside. Everything is burnt. They get this money, and like literally the store is still a burnt out husk, and they're just starting to figure out how they're going to rebuild from this. And like the scene where like he opens the case of money, the books behind him are like perfect condition, never look like a fire even touched this store. I'm like, did you just forget that you had a fire in here? Like, I don't understand what this scene is, where it came from. Anyway,
I don't think the movie understands that. I think there's a lot of shit that's thrown at the screen, and they don't quite know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And the most egregious thing is the awful CGI.
Oh god,
and
it's
the
so
really
bad. That
bad
truck
editing, like the Madame Web fucking levels
Madame
levels of bad editing, where you're just like, what what are you showing me? And there was a bit where he like fights Paxton, and you're like, did he fight Paxton? Who the fuck was he fighting? Who even fucking knows? Who the fuck knows?
Bewildering editing choices. Those cuts to first person for some reason happen. I don't know. Also, they're fighting in a bar the entire movie. People are being thrown onto tables, onto chairs. Shit's like they're breaking pool cues and shit like that. Comes to the final fight versus McGregor in the same bar, and they're like, fists only. We can't. No, we can hit your head onto the piano, but we can't break a chair over someone.
It's not tuned right.
Like,
is that what he says?
He's like, this piano's out of tune.
Like, I had a chuckle.
Seems fine to me.
I had a chuckle there.
I had a chuckle at Jake's line, not fucking Connor's.
It's not. Also, Swayze doesn't like suddenly turn out of character. Mm-hmm. He seems like he's the same character the whole time. I know we keep comparing it to this one. Like, it's a bad movie. It's not a good movie. It's a bad movie, but it's fun and sleazy as fuck. Whatever. He completely turns 180 and goes like full metal psycho, berserker barrage. Yeah. And it's like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. He like, when he goes and first of all, I think we kind of glazed over the CGI slightly, but when he gets hit by that truck and backed into the water,
oh yeah,
that it's so bad.
It's awful.
It's so bad.
It's awful.
I'm like, it's 2024.
It doesn't need to look like this.
It's so bad. Jumping further ahead. I lost my point. What were you saying just before he went on the CGI thing?
He goes full metal psycho.
Full metal psycho. Yeah. So he goes and kills that guy at the house and then puts him on ice and carries him around for a while and then drags him out to this money meeting that Arturo tells him about and fucking then frames a cop and then just hope he hits the cop hard enough on the head that he's going to forget everything. What?
Yeah.
They're not going to believe.
I liked how he killed the guy though when he punched him in the throat and told him what.
I broke your Heinenbone or whatever the fuck.
Like, you're not going to be able to breathe. I was like, that's
why couldn't you could have just ripped his throat out?
You just rip his throat out.
That would have been the perfect opportunity.
That would have been the number one. Like literally, this goes back to Peter Farrelly, where you're just setting the expectation and you just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Like everyone's expecting you to do it, and you just didn't do it.
Don't do it. I don't know. There's a whole subplot about the fucking gangster father being in jail and
that they do
money being in and out and like corrupt police officers
that they do nothing
like,
with.
There's just
the police chief and the daughter subplot too.
Yeah,
right?
That they do nothing with.
Double cross thing.
Yeah. And then Gyllenhaal pointing out the double cross, the fourth wall thing, or the meta thing.
Yeah,
stupid.
There's another thing that they point out that's meta. Oh, how she keeps talking about it being a cowboy story, like about cowboys.
A cowboy who runs in to save the day and then rides off into the sunset.
Yeah, like where they keep pointing that out. It's like, okay, guys, like either you want to be meta or you don't.
Yeah.
It just seemed like they chose to remake this movie. Okay, whatever. You shouldn't do it, but okay, you're gonna remake it, whatever. But they didn't do anything to kind of like be comparable or to change things, and then you just didn't do anything with what you created. Like things just don't make sense.
No,
they just sort of happen, and then you throw all this money at the CGI that makes it look ugly as fuck.
Oh man, so bad.
Like there's so many stuff. There's so like it's
the boat crashing into the shore. Terrible.
It's such a gorgeous location that they shot at in Florida, in the Keys. It's gorgeous. That scene where he's with the girl and they're out in the water.
Daniela? The sandbar?
Daniela. They're on the sandbar. Like it looks great. Like I think some of it's CGI'd, but it doesn't look egregious.
Yeah.
And it looks great.
Yeah.
And then there's parts in the bar that look great.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, why is all this ugly other shit here?
Yeah. The rest of it is just fucking terrible.
Why is it so ugly? Why is it such an ugly fucking movie? You have such beautiful stuff and then it's fucking ugly.
Yeah.
And they just don't know what to do with anything and just nothing makes sense. And just like all the things you want to happen don't happen. And there's not enough roundhouse. Does he even roundhouse someone? You can't call it roadhouse, not roundhouse someone. bad enough you don't rip the guy's throat. You just fucking explain to him his fucking procedure that just happened to him. Like, where's the roundhouses?
Nothing.
It's not menacing enough. It's not fucking... It's sleazy enough. It's not funny enough. It's not charming enough. It's not anything enough.
It's vicious, though.
It's violent.
It's viciously violent. Like, I would say a little bit more, because we just finished watching the original, and the original is vicious, but it wasn't that vicious. So I feel
pretty
like
fucking vicious.
Yeah, but like, I feel like they...
Okay, well, they're not feeding bitches to crocodiles. Okay, fine. Also, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, I remember
Chekhov's crocodile.
That was great. I remember when the trailer dropped, everyone was getting the filmmakers and everyone were complaining that Prime was gonna just drop it on the streaming service and not put it in theaters, and they were like demanding that this needed to be a theater run. I was like, buddy, Prime did you guys a favor.
Yeah, watching this movie, absolutely. This is nothing but a Prime.
This movie
apparently blew the doors off at South by, but I think they were also just laughing because it was so fucking bad.
Probably. Yeah. Like, it's like, it would be fun with the crowd, but it's fun to be like, this movie's fucking horrendous.
Yeah. It's bad.
Yeah. It is bad. It is objectively and subjectively bad.
It's bad. It's not so bad that it's sleazy and charming like the original. It's just bad.
Yeah.
It's just bad. And as you said, it's just not enough of anything except for violent. And that's it. That's all it has. And it's not enough to do. It's not enough to bring it home. It's not even good enough to make it a meh. It's just bad.
And like, Gyllenhaal is a terrific actor. And he's just done dirty here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're just like, why? Why did you bother?
No.
Why did anyone bother?
Why did anyone bother?
Like, Doug Liman makes fucking great movies. What the hell happened here?
No idea.
Like, where's the guy that made fucking Edge of Tomorrow?
Yep.
Or Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
I can't even believe that it's the same director. Like, watching this, I'm like, it's just so fucking
Born Identity.
Jumper.
Yeah.
Where's that guy?
It's fucking
Jumper.
It's so.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just boring. It doesn't have anything going for it. It's not fun.
It's not fun. It's not fun. And the shreds of fun are shreds.
Yeah. It felt like a chore to watch this movie.
Yeah. Like, no, it's not Madam Web.
No,
but it's not good either.
It's sitting in the same category as Madam Web. Or
like,
Madame Web.
Sorry, it just came up.
Mademoiselle Web.
Yeah. I've watched it and I was just like, okay, well, all right. And like, I wanted to try hard and not compare it, but like, it's just like,
it's hard.
I didn't even compare it. I watched that one first before I went back and watched the Swayze one. And I mean, it's been a few years since I've seen Roadhouse. I think the last time was at your bachelor party, Tony.
Yeah. That was a gay old time.
It was, but like, it's been a few years. So like, I was able to Roadhouse is not the most memorable of movies. It's great and it's fun to watch, but like, it's not like I could quote the movie word for word.
He does rip a throat.
He
rips a throat. And that's great. And
like, the other guy fucks guys like him in prison.
Yes.
Yeah. There was no line like that.
There was no line like that.
You need that line.
You need literally more of anything. But anyway, like, all that to say, like, I watched this one before that, so there was no comparison to it. The only comparison that started happening was when I started watching the original and going, wow, this is just objectively a better movie. It's still not high class cinema, but it's good and it works.
It's like the definition of low art.
It has enough of everything to make it work, and it just works. It's not anything more than that, but this doesn't have it.
Doesn't have any of it.
No. It doesn't have it.
It's just like, why did we waste our time on this movie?
Yep. And again, it was like fucking 2 hours long.
It's so long.
Yeah.
It's just like,
this movie could have been an hour and a half easily.
You know what? It might have been better.
Probably could have been. You could have cut out all the fucking stupid MMA dreams.
So
if you dump that stuff, you don't even need it.
No, it could have just been fun and charming.
Right, because like they did it in the original where it was just like a big mystery. He did this and we're not even going to touch
it. Who fucking cares?
Who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This guy's a mystery.
None of it matters. He's just a bouncer for hire.
He's a gun for hire. That's it.
Cares.
He's not a gun for hire, Tony. He's a bouncer
for hire.
Wow.
The only lethal weapons he has is his fists.
It's true.
And on that note, this is a
Law and Order.
Jesus, this is a big recommend. Obviously,
Homicide
right?
and Life on the Street.
It is
enough from you. That's what this
Dave.
is.
It's gonna be a no from me, dog.
That's gonna be a no, Dave.
And the why and wire.
It's not even to me. It's not even a fucking
Dave,
laundry
I'm
movie.
gonna roundhouse kick you in a second.
It's not even a folding laundry movie. It's a fucking don't bother.
Yeah.
Just watch the original.
Brooklyn.
Stop. See what happens?
NYPD Blue.
Jesus. Anyway, I'm fucking
Rookie Blue.
Okay, I'm out, guys.
Chicago PD.
So that's a resounding no from
yeah,
us.
it's not good. It's not good. It's not worth the time.
Just watch the original.
It's very telling on Amazon Prime right now that the top 10, they're both in the top 10.
Yeah.
Because people are watching the new one and they're going right back to the original.
Yeah.
Like that is the most telling thing I have ever seen ever.
Yeah.
Is like they're like, fuck it. No, I'm going back to this.
Yeah. Or watching this one going, I remember this one being better, and then putting that one on immediately after.
Like there's no way that movie should be as high as it is right now.
No, it's a true palate cleanser for the fucking, I wouldn't say disaster, but bad movie that the remake is.
Yeah, it's not. It's just bad.
It's just bad.
It's just bad.
It's just bad.
It's not Madame Web bad, but it's just bad.
It's just bad.
Yeah.
Great.
But since we talk so much, I think we're gonna cut it a little early before we get into my discussion on True Lies, because I had things I wanted to talk about with that, but it looks like James is falling asleep and Tony is like Tony already left.
Tired.
Tony already left.
Tony
he doesn't want to talk
Tony
anymore.
left at Rookie Blue. Yeah. So yeah,
Andy Sipowicz.
Let's put a pin in them. Let's leave a little teaser of people wanting more, and we'll talk about True Lies on our next episode.
Yes,
guaranteed.
we will.
We'll make some time for that. We just had a lot to catch up on in this one.
We sure did.
A lot of films, a lot of movies, and a lot of bad movies this time. This was
I would say this is the bad episode.
This is the bad timeline.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the bad place.
This is the Troy comes back in with the pizza and everything's on fire timeline.
Yeah.
We need some good movies this year. It's
we had Dune.
We did have Dune.
We need some good movies this year.
Yeah.
You just have shitty opinions, man.
Yeah, well, I don't really agree with yours either.
It's okay, man. I don't need you to be in the Muad'Dib. I'm okay being the Muad'Dib.
Those memes are killing me, man.
Yeah, they're really
killing me.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, I'm Shia LaBeouf. I'm once again asking for your support. Kills me. Anyway, let's put a pin in all things finger guns for the evening then, and we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yes, we will.
We got some more movies to talk about, and we are going to
hopefully they're better.
They're going to be better. I believe in us.
They better be better.
I believe that it will be, and we'll talk about some True Lies next time.
And probably Cars too.
And probably Cars too. Aren't we all excited?
We're all very excited.
So excited. But that also means I get to talk about Up. So that's a thing too. Anyway. Thanks everyone. As always, I've been Jimmy. And Finger Guns is hosted always with
Big Tasty Tony B.
And
I don't remember what I said my name was, but I'm Dave.
Despicable Dave.
Despicable Dave. There we go.
Fucking worst. That's what you are.
Dave. And we'll talk to you in 2 weeks when we have more.